share my screen. Just a second. So yeah, cool. You're able to see my screen, right?
Yeah, I confirm. Yeah, I see.
Perfect. Okay. So as you can see, once you're on the messaging page and when you select your app selector, you will have the
Okay.
option to select up to two apps, one Android and one iOS. We are going to assume that the Thames iOS and Thames Android are our test apps for this purpose, right? So I'm going to select these two apps and I'm going to click on apply. Once these two apps have been selected, as you can see, the dashboard will also talk about the names of those two apps that you've selected. So it tells you that you are into that environment where all the operations that you're doing is about these two apps that you've selected. So we're going to just wait for some time for the page to load.
But these features is
Yeah.
is activated if I select two apps or
Only. Yeah.
I flag some things I don't know in localytics settings.
So there are two, I think there are some steps, right? So today
Okay.
you will not have the option to select two apps in your account because
Okay.
the Capn feature has not been activated for your account, right? Imagine it's like a small subscription. So the feature has been released, it's available, but it's like a small subscription that has not been activated for you. So once the feature gets activated, you will have the option to start selecting multiple apps. And then you can sort of go ahead, which is why we have, for example, some customers like who have active subscriptions of this during the early access. And now, as we speak to customers, we are able to sort of like roll this out for everyone else as well by addressing any queries they may have and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah. So now that I'm on the messaging dashboard, I wanted to touch upon a couple of changes on the dashboard itself, right? So the first thing that you will notice is you see this column called as cross app, which indicates that
Yes.
all the cross app campaigns will be indicated by this tick mark so that you know that these are cross app campaigns. You will have the platforms that they apply to. So all the icons, for example, so this particular campaign is a iOS campaign only. This is not a cross app campaign versus these are cross-app campaigns that one
Okay.
has created. There's two columns, which is sends and open rate. I will give an example. So imagine this. The sends column and the open rate column have the aggregated data of both the platforms for a cross-app campaign. So when it is saying 119, it can be that maybe 60 went out for Android and the remaining are for iOS. And when it comes to the open rate as well, it will show you an aggregated open rate across both the platforms. So this applies to Crossa because it's two platforms. So you'll get like a snapshot of what the campaign has done on both the platforms over here.
Okay.
However, if you would like to understand how the campaign has performed individually, just the way you want to see it today, you can just click on the three dots and you can click
Okay.
on
I
the
choose
performance.
the
Yeah, it shows the icon and the platform and then the performance page. So once you click on them, the performance page is exactly the way it is today. There are no changes, nothing new to learn about, and you'll be able to see them, right? It's just the sends and the open rate column will give you an aggregated data with respect to across our campaigns, right? So this is one.
okay.
I think there is one more change that we had introduced by like getting some feedback is that let's say you want to sort of like have a view once you're into the cross app dashboard, right? So you can select your campaigns according to this. When you select
Okay.
cross app only, you'll be able to see all the campaigns which are just cross app. You want to see only single app Android campaigns, you can see all the campaigns which were created only for your Android app. Now you want to see Android campaign, but also your cross app campaign, you can go ahead and select it. So it will just show cross app campaigns and it will show you the Android campaigns. And if you want to see just the iOS campaigns, you can do that as well. So I
Okay.
think,
In this
yeah,
case, I can see only iOS regarding the
yeah,
cross campaign. If I filtered by iOS and cross campaign.
yeah, you'll be able to see
Okay.
cross app campaign and iOS
And choose
campaigns.
the scene. Okay, the preview.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think one of the feedback pointers when we rolled this out was that What if I want to see only my Android campaigns and not the iOS campaign, right? Like if I want to focus on one platform and I want to have a unified view. So this is where we created this filter where it gives you the unified view of the platform that you're trying to focus upon so that you can sort of like study them, make changes, etc. But you'll have the option to keep all three of them or whatever information that you're interested in, right? So that's the messaging dashboard. No other changes. One, filter by platform. You have two more columns, cross app and the platform OS. The sends and the open rate will give you an aggregated data for cross app, and that's about it. Now I'm going to create a demo push campaign at this point of time for the two apps that we've selected.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've just clicked on the plus sign. I've selected push, and I'm going to select over here, right? So I'm going to say Capn demo Feb 3, and I'm going to select, as you can see, there is some UI changes on the goals page. So I can go ahead and I can select the goal. And you can see that I have two options. I can choose the event that I want to track for Android, and I can also select it for the iOS platform. So I can choose, I can say Localytics push registered or push, let's say push register, and I can select the same event for iOS platform too, right? So Localytics push registered. So yeah, just a bit. I see your hand raised.
Yeah, yeah. Just be clear. Our events are didn't change in this feature, so we can choose both of events on iOS side and Android side.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
It just works the same way it is today. Just that today, what you have to do is that when you're creating your Android campaigns, you can only see the events for your Android campaign. And over here on the same page, you will see the two different events that you can go ahead and select, right? So your
Okay.
iOS events will be available, and then your Android events will also be available.
Also the audience, right?
So I'm going to come to the audience section just now. So
Okay.
we'll discuss that, right? So once you're done with the goals page, you can click on continue to in this. Now, as you can see, in terms of the audiences, you have two options. One, you can choose to target the entire set of audience for
Days
both
off.
the
Okay.
platforms. Yeah. So when you say everyone, it will target the Android platform users plus the iOS platform users, and it will give you a summary like this. But let's assume that you want to select audiences that you have created already for Android and iOS. So you have an option to select an audience for Android. So I'm going to open up this Android list, which you can see, and I'm going to select something called as, let's say, yeah, this one. And for iOS, I'm going to open up the drop down and I'm going to select something called as this.
Okay. Perfect.
So your two audiences will be available. The two lists will be available. And then you can go ahead, make those selections. As you can see, they've been populated and then you can click on continue. One option that you don't have today, Giuseppe, for CrossUp is you don't have the option to build a new audience while creating CrossUp campaign. So if you want to build an audience to target, you have to go to the audiences section. You have to create the audiences and save them. Let's say Capn test Feb 3, Android Capn test Feb 3 iOS, and those particular audiences will start populating over here. This is another feature that we are actually working with,
Okay.
and
We,
yeah,
we,
it's
we
it's a
can
part of the roadmap.
okay,
Yeah,
we can create a specific audience for example, I don't know, Android or
yeah,
iOS, obviously, but I can choose to create an audience for both app.
correct,
I don't know, for example, users who visited a specific store, I don't know. We
exactly,
upload the user ID of both apps, so Android and iOS. We create one audience with this user ID, for example, and we can
right,
upload this in our audience and choose for iOS and Android the
correct,
same audience.
exactly. Yes, as long as it is sort of like mentioned in your saved audience, you will be able to select it over here. You can't select or create a new audience while building the campaign itself. But like because this feature is only specific to like push campaign, right? You can't select or you can't create an audience which targets both the platforms at this point of time. This is a feature which is a part of our roadmap. We are working on cross-app in-app campaigns, which is after this. And after that, we are going to be working on that feature called as cross-app new audience, where you can create one audience for both the platforms together. So we wanted to help you with push campaigns and in-app campaigns first, and then help you with the audiences section so that the entire
Okay.
place basically becomes unified. Yeah. So you've selected the Android audience, you've selected the iOS audience. I'm going to click on continue to creatives. This is an interesting page. I think this is probably like the most important one. So you can see the first option is that you have the option to keep shuffling between the two platforms. This one represents your Android app and this represents your iOS app, right? You see this option called as link content across both the apps, which is enabled by default, which means that anything that you sort of like write over here or like start updating in terms of the content creatives, it will get auto applied to the iOS side as well. So I'm going to give you a quick demo. I'm going to say this is a test push
Okay. With this
Feb
flag,
3.
if you activate this flag, um, title, messages, and I don't know,
Yeah,
are copy and paste for Android and iOS. Is
exactly.
are the
Yes.
same.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. All the options, all the fields which are like sort of, enabled by this checkbox means that
Okay.
these are being auto applied to the other platform as well. So I'm going to give you a quick demo, right? So this, I'm saying this is a test push Feb 3, and I'm going to write this is optional title, and I'm going to write this is the message body of the push, right? I've written this. And as you can see on the iOS side, the same
Are
has
the
been
same.
auto applied.
Okay.
Yeah. Now let's say you want to create an identical campaign, but not exactly the most similar campaign, right? So let's say you want to change the discount or maybe something else in the message body. You can go ahead and you can deselect this. This
Yeah.
basically ensures you
I
can
want
customize it.
to
So I'm going to
I
write,
want to write,
yeah,
for example, Android or iOS exactly for the push.
exactly. So now that I've deselected this, these changes that I did, which is like I wrote Android, will not get auto applied to the iOS side. And you can see this part has not been. So I can just like do the customization that I would like to do. Let's say you would like to do that for the title, you can deselect this option and you can go ahead with it
Okay.
as well, right? So
There.
so this is the option that you have. And let's say that the third case is that you want to, for some reason, disable this toggle. You don't want anything to be linked at all. So when you click on
And
this to
turn off.
disable it, it
Okay.
will it will give you a warning that hey, if you disable it for this campaign, you will not be able to enable it for this campaign again. And this is only and only to prevent human errors when you don't want in the process of updating creatives, something got auto applied by mistake and you send that piece to your audience, right? So this is just to ensure there is no human error. So if you click on cancel, the toggle will remain
Okay.
enabled by default.
Okay. Clear.
But if
But
you click on OK, it will actually get disabled for forever for this campaign. So
okay. Clear.
yeah. So I'm gonna, for
Just
the sake of
just a
yeah,
question, if it's possible. If you come back, okay. In outreach media content, if I, for example, want to use a different picture about, I don't know, for iPhone and for Samsung S25, I don't know, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
If I want to choose a specific outreach media content, what is the process? I can put, okay,
yeah,
I turn off the checkbox.
and just put the Android rich media for Android, and then on the iOS side you can
Okay,
put
and
Android.
select the iOS and put,
Yeah,
okay, 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 okay,
that's
got
it.
it.
Same for deep link. If you do have deep links, if you do use deep links, you can do the same thing where you can just deselect the option and you can keep it to customs, like the Android one and the iOS one.
But if I have only one deep link and one other rich media content, if I turn on
Yeah,
the checkbox. I
you
put
can just like,
there okay, and the deep link.
yeah.
Where is the
So
login?
deep link is
Ah,
also the
okay,
same, right? So
okay,
yeah,
okay. I see, I see. Oh, perfect.
right. So I'm just gonna do like a small check. Let's say I'm gonna write something like just to be like on that piece. You can see that the same thing will be applied, right? So you can choose it. All that you have to do is deselect it if you want to make it customized across the two platforms. If you want to keep it same, ensure that this checkbox is there and it things will get auto applied, right? So yeah, so that's
Okay,
the creative stage. This is your platform, the way to shuffle between platforms. This is the toggle option, which is enabled by default. And the third use case is to disable it. And once you disable it, it will get disabled for this campaign forever. So just to prevent human errors, right? So that's the part. Once you're done with your creative stage, you can click on scheduling. And there are no changes to the scheduling page. They are exactly the way it is today. One thing that I wanted to call out is that the throttling option, which is over here. Let's say you want to set a limit for the throttling. Whatever number that you put in, this applies to each platform individually. So when you say 10,000 messages per minute, this talks about 10,000 messages for Android and 10,000 messages for iOS. So you don't need to be worried about that. This is going to be a cumulative number. This is each platform specific, and it will work just the way you would like it to be.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'm just going to schedule the campaign for, let's say, 1st of March for now,
schedule.
for
Yeah.
10
Okay.
a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern. And once I'm done with this, I'm going to click on continue. And this is my summary page. The summary page will try to give you all the selections that you have done across both the platforms. So, for example, the events that you have selected for tracking, the audiences that you've selected for your platforms, the creatives that you've done, and your scheduling configuration. So you can go ahead, test them. You can edit them if you would like to. And once you're sure with everything, you can click on activate, and the activation happens just the way it happens today. So, and I what let me do one thing, right? So I will go ahead and I will click on activate. The campaign will get activated. Yeah. And let's say you want to click back to all messages. You're back to the messaging dashboard on the same test apps environment that you had selected, right? Now, imagine that you've done this for your test apps a couple of times. You feel comfortable. All that you have to do is that you have to just basically deselect these two apps from your test apps to your production apps, and you can try it out for your production environment. So when I was telling you that you don't need a separate environment to actually test out the feature, the reason for that is because the feature will only get activated when you have two apps selected, and it will only be sort of like applied to on the apps that you've selected. So if these are your test apps, you can see that all the campaigns that you're seeing are of those two apps only. So this is the way I would suggest you to try it out, and it will be, I think, good enough at the start. And then if there is any issues or questions that you have, we are there to help you out, and then you can start scaling this to the production.
Okay, just to understand about this feature, but there's a specific date. I for maybe 27 of February to for the release of this feature. But we you have a specific date to apply to all of our apps, or we can choose when we can use this feature, or I don't know for for example, we have a lot of projects to close in this period. So at the moment, we have not the power to take in charge this study at the moment. So in fact, I ask you if we can use only the test app
Yeah,
to understand more better how can I improve this feature on automatic system, but
yeah,
I don't know if we can work on it at the meantime. So possible, I don't know, 2 months, for example, before we can use this feature. So it's important
Got it.
to
Yeah.
us to understand if it's we are the owner for very simple to apply this feature on locality on our localytics or not,
Yeah.
and because for us it's important to before to study and discover this. My tech colleague they discovered
Yeah.
the best solution to improve this feature and mm,
Yeah.
test it
Right.
to very well.
So whatever. Yeah, what I would suggest, Giuseppe, is that you may receive a lot of like emails from us saying that the feature is coming to you on Feb 27th. You have the complete authority to tell us when you would like the feature to be turned on. So if you tell me that you would like this feature to be turned on this week, and you tell me that I would like it to be turned on Wednesday, I can actually go ahead and activate for you. But if you tell me that I do not want this feature in the month of Feb, I want to possibly wait till the end of March, let's say you want to take this month and next month as well to have the feature turned on, we can do that as well. So this is, I think I would say that this completely rests on you as the customer when you come back to us and tell us that, hey, we are ready for Capn to be turned on for our environment, and then we can turn it on for you. I think what I want to do as a partner in this is that if there is any concerns with respect to how to use the feature, or if there is any learning resource that I can help you with, I'll be able to help you out with that, right? If you have any questions, like for example, what we can do is we can just like get into your account. We can do like a screen recording or a demo where I'm there and I can help the team who runs push campaigns that this is how it will look like for your and apps as well. So you don't need to be worried that this is coming to you by Feb 27th. Like it's going to mandatory apply. It's going to be a confirmation based thing. Once you feel comfortable, we can turn it on immediately, or we can turn it on after 1 month or maybe 2 months as well if you would like it to be. So yeah.
But at the moment, we haven't these features on our system, right?
Yeah, you don't have it right now. So it's, imagine this, right? Like the feature is available for Localytics. It has been released like in Q3 of last year, but it is not active as a subscription for your account. So till the time that subscription gets activated for you, you will not be able to experience this feature or try it out. So, and once we turn it on, you're free to use that feature basically. So the reason I'm sort of like doing this call is that we can do a similar call with any other team members that you would like to do. And once you feel comfortable and you tell me that, hey, we confirm that we would like to activate Capn for our account by, let's say, this date, we can then go ahead and do it for you. Usually, we prefer to keep it like in the first half of the week so that, in case of any particular campaigns you may have towards the end of the weekend, or it's just because it's
Okay.
weekend, there are people to help you out in that case. So, yeah,
Yeah, okay, okay. Just to understand, because for us it's important to know how can we use this and
yeah,
uh, the timing of this feature. If and as I told you before, we can understand our roadmap and so.
yeah,
Use our roadmap to understand when we can study this feature and also program this any work on it. So for
absolutely.
us it's
Yeah,
important to this is be
yeah,
clear and yeah obviously
yeah,
okay. Today, so the UI and the UX is quite different regarding the creation and also the setting of text and the link and the rich media. So that is the maybe the most important part
right,
for this feature. It's very different, quite
right,
different respect to the past because I see a lot of toggles and a lot of the checkbox to put on or off, or switch off to yeah to understand. And okay, for me it's clear regarding these features. So I come back to you when we are
Yeah,
ready to apply this feature. Maybe I
absolutely.
think and then the next few days. But we
Yeah,
want to use it only in our test app because
yeah,
before we have a lot of time to understand how it works and
yeah,
how we can manage this in our automatic interface in Shuffle. So,
sure. So I have a quick
and
question for you, Giuseppe. The
yeah,
test apps that you have, are they the same org as your production apps? Like, are there two different orgs that you have in Localytics, or it's just like one org and all the apps are listed in the same org itself? I'm guessing that it's going to be one org. Um, like
we
when you open up
have
the apps,
a lot of apps in Localytics, but we have different apps for the product and for the staging apps or test apps. I don't know as you can call it, but are quite different because we can test on our test device, so we can use it and we can manage some
yeah,
information about.
right.
And yeah, we have a lot of a lot of apps, and the difference is production or staging.
Got it. Okay, yeah. I think like yeah, I think like I'm there to help you out. Do discuss it with your team. I'm like if you do have questions or if you do need additional like training or a demo session, we are definitely there to help you out with this. And I will
Okay.
wait for you as to when you would like to get this turned on. I think I want to sort of like give you the confidence that when you do start to use it, I think you'll be able to learn it fairly well because when we rolled this out, like I think like Q3 of last year, we have a good set of customers using this, and the overall feedback has been very positive. Like people came to us suggesting that, okay, can you add this filter by platform, or can you keep the toggle enabled by default because we don't want the additional step to sort of go ahead and enable it. So I think like those improvements also have been put in place at this point of time, and people,
Yeah.
if they have a lot of push campaigns, they're able to use Capn that way. So I'm there to help you out with that. And then yeah,
Yeah, I think this is a great feature. But the other customers use directly on Localytics to create the messages, the push up message, or they use, for example, API or I don't know, crawling for the system.
no, so I think like most of these customers create campaigns like on Localytics, right? Because like CrossApp is not applicable for a API campaign. It's only for campaigns which are created by the users. So, which is why like if they have a campaign that they would like to get sent out, they can use CrossApp. And I think this is very, very helpful if your campaigns are exactly similar, like very similar for both of your platforms. All that you want to do is just like maybe customize it for the rich media creatives or the deep link, but your messaging is like extremely similar. So you have to sort of like create a campaign for one platform, duplicate it to the iOS platform or vice versa,
Yeah,
and do
in
that to the
in
iOS.
our
Just
case, this features is very it's important for us because
yeah,
in most of the case, Android push and iOS push are the same. Text, rich media, title, blah blah blah.
exactly.
So for
Yeah,
us, it's very important to spend
yeah,
not not timing
correct.
to create one message for iOS, one
Yeah,
message for
one message
Android.
for Android.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so long and
Exactly. And
okay.
I think like if 80% of your campaigns are exactly the same, I think this is like a very good feature where like your overall workflow will become cross app oriented. So as long as you're creating a push, you will always use cross app to create push. Maybe in a one on like ad hoc campaign, you decide that I want to target only the Android users or I want to target only the iOS users. Then you will go back to your single app of workflow. But I think if your most of the campaigns are exactly the same, I think this feature is extremely helpful. And our goal is that like we do this for in-app campaigns as well. And then we help you with the ability to create one single audience across both the platforms. So items added to cart, you don't need to, have two audiences in this. You can combine both the platforms and create one audience saying Localytics items added to cart or something like that. So that's where we are headed. I think like it's a big focus for this year for us to help you out with
Yeah,
these
yeah, I
scenarios.
see.
And this is the start. So yeah,
Okay, but the creation of audience is a separate feature,
yeah, it's a separate feature. Yeah.
and when you release it, I forgot the date or
For audience,
yeah.
actually, to be honest, like we are currently working on the same feature, which is cross app for in-app campaigns, right? So today, if you are able to do this for push, you will be able to do this for in-app as well. This is something which is expected towards the end of Q2 or probably like Q3. And then it will be followed up with the audience feature. So I would actually go ahead and say that audience feature will be sometime second half of this year. I don't know certainly by when, but yeah, so that's the sequence that we are currently following with respect to
Okay,
cross app.
okay.
Yeah.
And to apply these features, I just to send you an email
Yeah.
to okay, or waiting the end of the February
No, no.
27.
If you want this to be activated before Feb 27, we are happy to do that for you. As I told you, the feature has already been released. It's just a very simple step that it will take us to confirm with you and then turn it on for you. So we don't need to wait till Feb 27th if you would like to get it done.
Okay. Last thing, if we want to deactivate this feature, is possible. For example, we
Yes.
understand that this is so time consuming to just an example. So for us to set these features in our system is so long and we have no time. We
Yeah.
can turn off this feature and I don't know, next year retake it and work on it because we have a lot of time in 2026. I don't know. For example, it's possible or
You can turn it off. Yeah. So as imagine this that the subscription basically can be deactivated, and once we remove that, you don't have the option to do like a cross-off campaign. So it can be done. Uh, I think the good thing to notice that is that like none of the customers who have it activated have requested to turn it off. So I'm in the same belief that I think like once this app gets activated for you, I'm hoping
okay,
that it'll be the same story for you as well. But you do have the option that in case if you would like to deactivate it, you can just like let the team know and we will go ahead and turn off campaign for you.
okay. But in the same case, I send you an email, or we have a toggle in our setting, locating setting to turn on and turn off this feature.
No, you will have to inform the Localytics team that we would like to turn off the feature.
Okay, okay, clear.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So for me, it's I have all the information, and if you can share with me the recording video, just to receive and share with my colleagues with for I
will
don't
do that.
know some
Yeah,
question
absolutely.
from the tech side. And
Yes.
if you have some tech documentation about these features, if you have it, I ask you if possible to share with me and I share with my tech colleagues to understand more better this feature because it the first request of my my colleagues. And so I come back to you with some information or any question about, and
Yeah,
if they give me the green light to apply this feature, I can. I told you, and yeah, we
yeah,
can turn on these features on Localytics for us.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think like with respect to the tech documentation that you requested for, so we have the demo video that was sent to you as part of the marketing campaign, and there is a PDF user guide that I had created, which basically like walks you through the same steps one by one. So it will show you the messaging dashboard. It will tell you the same columns, for example. It'll give you what we are working upon is the same documentation will be created like in a link format on the tech support or the support documentation that you have. And this is expected to be live by the end of this month. So I don't think it will be very different from what the user guide already shows. But like I think that link basically will be there by the end of this month for people to have a look at. So yeah,
Okay.
cool. Yeah, I think
Okay.
what
Thank
I'll
you.
do
And
is I'll share the video recording link either by today or
perfect.
tomorrow,
Perfect. Thank
and
you.
then you can use this like for your internal discussion, and then whenever you do get some like time, you can get back to us saying that when you would like to have Capn turned on. So yeah,
Okay. Perfect. Thank you,
yes,
Vivek, and have a great. I don't know if night or day in India.
it is night. It is night. It's
Night.
close to
Okay.
9:30 p.m. in the evening. Yeah,
Okay. Have a
yeah,
great night, and see
yes,
you soon.
yes, definitely. Thank you so much, Giuseppe. Have a good day.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.